That was faith in action. So was running for office the very first time I ran, standing up in the name of the people. As the first black woman to be elected district attorney of San Francisco and the first black woman in the state of California, to run for Attorney General and become the first black woman to be elected Attorney General of California, where I ran the second largest Department of Justice in the United States, second only to the United States Department of Justice. Standing up as the second black woman in the history of the United States Senate to be elected to the United States Senate. And then placing my hand, yes, on Justice Thurgood Marshall's Bible when I was sworn in as Vice President of the United States. These were all, for me, acts of faith, born out of being taught to believe in what is possible and what can be, unburdened by what has been. For me and President Joe Biden, faith guides our work every day. So I will say to the National Baptist Convention, we know deeply that when people of faith come together, anything is possible. Everything is possible. That is the power of faith. Just think, after slavery was outlawed in our country, the founders of this very convention came together to protect the freedom of worship. As black people in our nation battled racist laws and ideologies, men and women of the cloth were the leaders of the civil rights movement in America. And they then, following the teachings of Christ, built coalitions of people of all faiths and races and walks of life, because they understood and knew the importance of the collective. They did not declare, "I shall overcome." No, they said, "We shall overcome." So standing on those broad shoulders, let us speak truth about the moment we are now in. Today, we live in unsettled times. The ideals we thought were long established, such as overseas the sovereignty of democratic nations, here in our own country, the powerful transfer of power in a way that is peaceful, the freedom of voters to decide elections, the freedom of women to make decisions about their own future, even what constitutes the truth. These ideals now hang in the balance. And in this moment, then, we count on the strength and the conviction of our faith leaders to help lead us forward. As we see gun violence threatening the safety of our communities and the sanctity of our houses of worship, our faith leaders have been among the leaders who demand a ban on assault weapons so that our children do not have to fear their lives as they sit at their desk or kneel in the pew. As new laws in our country are making it more difficult for people to vote, including in this state right here, faith leaders are taking action, registering voters and driving souls to the polls. Because like generations before, we all know the freedom to vote should be sacred. And our democracy must be defended. As extremists work to take away the freedom of women to make decisions about their own bodies, faith leaders are taking a stand, knowing one does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held religious beliefs to agree that a woman should have the ability to make decisions about her own body and not have her government tell her what to do. And she will choose in consultation with her pastor or her priest or her doctor and her loved ones. But the government should not be making that decision. In this moment, let us heed the words of 1 Corinthians. Be on your guard. Stand firm in the faith. Be courageous. Be strong. And do everything in love. National Baptist Convention. We share a deep love for our nation. And we believe in the principles upon which it was founded. Freedom, liberty, equality. But we know that in our beloved country, these principles are only fully realized when we, people of faith, fight for them to be true. True patriotism means standing up for those principles. It means requiring and fighting to make sure that our nation lives up to those principles in every generation, in every moment of crisis. The Bible teaches us so much about what we must do to be dutiful. Understanding we have a duty to our God and to one another. And people of faith, then with that spirit, have always been part of leading our nation forward.